yep, I'm hungry. Yep, I'm hungry. Yep, I'm hungry. Yep, I'm hungry. Yep, I'm hungry.
Once again, I want to welcome you to Texas Live. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Daniel Moon of Louiserlo.
Okay, then like I said, it's Texas Live, so go ahead and represent where you're from.
Yeah, I'm actually from Wichita, Kansas, but I live here in Austin, Texas now.
Okay, what brought you to Texas?
Well, back in 2004, I was getting out of the Army Reserves after 6 years, and I decided to go ahead and go active duty. So they sent me to Fort Hood. It's about an hour north of here. And, so I got out of that after 3 years of doing active duty. I said, man, I'm not going back to Kansas. So I figured, you know what I'm saying, Texas is live. So I'm going to move down to Austin.
Already?
It's an hour away, so.
I feel you on that. So, like you said, you part of group Louiserlo. So, would you go ahead and tell us about what you actually do?
Alright, well, Louiserlo is a holy hip hop group in Christian rap. Basically, we started back in right when I moved here. Actually, my boy Dan Dulce had also moved down here a couple years prior to go to school at Texas State in San Marcos. And when I moved to Fort Hood, he came up, showed me a CD with some beats. I was like, man, that's tight. I got some beats too that my boy Angelo gave me, and showed him some of the songs. We got together. A little bit later, I met Bryce Milton. Bryce Milton was also in the Army with me. He was in my company, and then about a year later, we got deployed to Iraq. So me and Bryce were over there. All I had was a laptop and some computer programs. I was working with Sony Acid back at the time, and Fruit Loops. So I just worked with that, made some beats over in Iraq. We made a whole album, came back. Dan was ready to go. We'd also picked up another brother named TJ Williams. A lot of people call him Sir Wills. And started rocking the mic together and doing different things together. So it worked out.
Okay, Dan. So, what made you get into doing music?
I've always loved being into music. I always loved music. Church choirs as a kid, gospel choirs in high school. My stepmom and my stepsister, they actually had a gospel group. They would perform all the time throughout Wichita, Kansas, where I'm from. And they had a group called Unity. They would go around, perform and stuff like that. And I would come to a lot of the concerts. And it made me kind of feel like, you know, I could get into something like this. And I always wanted to make beats and produce and stuff like that. A little later, I met a man named Mike Summers. He's my age. And he was doing music. He was working with Tech 9 and some other people up in Kansas City. And a lot of QD3 Entertainment, stuff like that. But he kind of opened my eyes to it. And then, like I said, in 2004, I met Angelo Rodriguez, also in Wichita, Kansas. He was doing music, and he kind of took me under his wing, and we just started knocking it out, you know, making some things. And we actually started with a studio that he got a desktop computer, Sony Acid that, you know, had burned or ripped off the internet. He was working with Reason, and the microphone that we had to use was the little microphone that comes with your desktop, little thing with one wire. So we just put it up in the closet where there was some clothes, hung it up, started doing what we could do, what we had. And here we are about 5 years later, just really, you know, really trying to do what we're doing, move on to the future.
What kind of music are you trying to put out?
Well, what we're trying to put out is something that's it's hip hop, you know, as far as the genre goes, but the message is about Jesus, about life. It's about living as a Christian, you know, walking as a Christian, being a Christian man, you know, stuff like that, and just how Christianity is really relevant to normal life. I feel like sometimes Christian music becomes too irrelevant to just normal life. People feel like their hands are, you know, not in it at all. It's just like so far from any kind of quality, any kind of issues that people are really facing. So what we want to do is really talk about the same issues that everybody deals with and bring them to Christ, you know what I'm saying, and let Him handle them from there, and just show people that they don't have to rely on just themselves. They can, you know, they can turn to Christ in all kinds of situations. So that's why a lot of the music that I make has to do with a lot of things that I went through growing up, some of the lessons that I learned, how Christ was behind all of that.
If somebody came up to you and like wanted to do what you were doing, people younger than you, older than you, or whatever, what kind of advice can you give them?
Okay. Well, I would say first of all, have patience. You know, you're not gonna blow up overnight. If that's what you want to do, then your heart's probably in the wrong place. Secondly, learn your craft. Don't just sit down and, you know, the first thing you make, Mary had a little lamb, yo, that's dope. No, you know, sit down and really learn your craft and figure out what works, what doesn't work. You're gonna come out with maybe 3-4 albums worth of music before you put out one song that people actually like. So be patient, be persistent, you know what I'm saying, work hard, and it's gonna pay off.
What else do you want people out there to know about you, about your music?
Okay, well, I guess the biggest thing is just that most of the music that I personally write, like I described, we have 4 members in our group. Most of the stuff I do is probably real abstract, real poetic, you know what I'm saying? If you look deep into it, you can see what I'm talking about, but most of the time you'd be confused. So I just say, if you ever hear anything I put out, you know, give it a second, see what it's really talking about. Secondly, I talk a lot about different struggles and stuff, and if you can relate to struggle, then you can relate to what I'm doing. But really, the number one thing is that it's all about Jesus. So if there's anything in there that doesn't seem to be about Jesus, then you're probably just not listening deeply enough.
Okay then, cool. So you have any up-and-coming things you're doing?
Yeah, currently we're working with one of the members of our group, Bryce Milton. He goes by B-Ski. Some history behind that name, but you can ask him if you want to know. He's going to be making an album. He's working on one right now, which is currently called Thoughts of an Introvert Christian. So we just got done recording the first song for that album. It's going to be pretty hot. We got production from my boy Angelo, we got production from Tony Stone, and we got production from a lot of other people coming in. So that's the first thing we're working on. We're starting to work on getting a little more shows together because now that we got a lot more time, the last couple of years I've been in school, Dan, he's been teaching school, Bryce has been in Iraq. So yeah, coming up pretty soon we got some things that you could be looking out for. But until then, I can't give too many secrets away.
Okay then. So how can people hit you up? You got like a Facebook or MySpace, or how can we hear your music?
Okay. Well, yeah, we do have a Facebook. If you go on Facebook and just do a search for Louiserlo, that's spelled Louiserlo. It's probably on the screen. Or you can also go to our MySpace page, which is just myspace.com/Louiserlo. That's 2 ways to get a hold of us. If you want to email any of us, then you can hit us up at info@louiserlo.com.
Okay then. The people, I just want y'all to look out for them. And I want to thank you once again for coming on Check It Live, letting people know what you're doing. So that's about it.
All right. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Talk to you later.